let's hop back into it. So, I'm usually either teaching the sweetheart turn next or bow and arrow. Bow and arrow is crossing here, up and over, and slide. So how I teach that, I usually say this is the first move with a real signal beforehand. Your signal is you're going to cross your hands here. Then you're going to swing them back up. So we're going to start crossing, we're going to swing back up, and both people take their right arm straight and their left arms over your own head. So pull your left arm over your own head and your right arm straight, set them down here and let go and slide. Just like that. Let's try that again. Often just repeating these things, up and over. Let people do it, watch them, make sure they're doing it well.
People will think a move is more complicated than it really is just because they're watching it. And so sometimes people, they do this and then they're like, I don't know what's going on.
Oftentimes people end up like here, they're like trying to both extend the same side or different things like that. And you say, both of you take your right arm out, left arm over your own head, and slide.
There are some people who cannot get their arm behind their head.
That's true.
Believe it or not. So, in that case, it looks like this. Where it just goes in front.
And that can work if it's needed.
If it's needed.
So then we rotate partners again. We rotate partners, we get them to try this with somebody else. It's incredibly helpful to rotate partners, especially if people are having a hard time with this. Because somebody just now got it, and now they're rotating to somebody that didn't. If you rotate from somebody that just got it, and you just did it right, moving to somebody who hasn't figured it out yet, you can help.
Right.
And so that's something that very, very helpful with this rotating. And so then we do it again. Cross, over the top, and slide. And now we're here.
We got to show how to get back.
And so at this point, I teach oftentimes quite quickly how to get back because people know their basic position now. They've learned their basic position. I want to give them an opportunity to get back to that basic position. So, easiest way to get out of here, in my opinion, outside turn and drop the hand. Just like that. So, I teach from here. This is just like the outside turn we did before with my right hand. But for the girls, it's going to feel like the inside turn because you're turning in, being led with your right hand. So we're going to go here, and I drop this hand down into my left, drop her right hand into my left, and we're back to basic position. Again, we're going to rock, step before we come back together. But now we're back to home base. So, I teach this, boom, and back. But teaching that allows us to now have this position usable for a lesson. If you want to do more moves off of this, now they know cross grip. They also know what people are doing when they're out there dancing and cross their hands like this. So I think it's important to teach that. The sweetheart turn, here's how we teach that. So we've learned the inside turn. My left hand, her right. I point my fingers down and turn. This time with the sweetheart turn, I'm going to hold on with the other hand and turn her in. Now sometimes people end up here and they're a little confused, but I usually point out that you need to be shoulder to shoulder and your right arm is going to be to your side, out to your side, not in front of you. You end up right here. Sometimes you're teaching and you've got a little guy, big girl, and you can only wrap that up so far. Especially in middle school, and you have a little bit of difficulty with this move. Do it, show them to spin right back out to where they came in. So spin in, spin right back out the same way that you came in. Just like that. Now, your hands here, right? Simple things like that. Then we have an addition onto this move, a flare that can be a lot of fun. So, I love teaching this. This is another spot where people get a little more excited about what they can do with dance. And so we're going to teach this. We're going to show them the turn and a half out, just like that. And usually how I teach it is we come in. I'm going to lift my left hand up, that's her right, up just above in front of her. And I'm going to give her a little bit of a it a try, and I have everyone give it a try. We turn in, pull up, let go and spin, and half the people, 3/4 of the people get it right away. It's fun. They're like, oh, that was cool. That's usually a move that pops for people a little bit. They start getting excited about dance, and that's a really good thing. We want to get people excited. That's why we're teaching modern swing in the first place. So, turn in, turn out, just like that. They've got something fun. Then, if we have time, we teach a dip. I like to teach a dip to high school and older.
Doesn't really make
Gauge
sense
your,
younger
yeah,
than that.
gauge your crowd, but it can be a fun thing to teach. Sometimes I like saying, this is a great way to end a dance. Always great to be able to end a dance in a dip, and I want to make sure you guys know how to do this before we wrap up the lesson. You guys ready? You know, something like that. We're going to go into the sweetheart position here. From the sweetheart position, we're going to dip back. But I have to make sure I take this inside foot, my right foot here, and step behind her. So I'm going to take my right foot, which is next to her, and step behind her. That way I have a base behind her and have some strength while protecting her back. Like this. And then back up. Let's try that again. Down and back up. Now, girls, here's a life lesson. And this is one of my favorite things to say. You want to give people something to, like, encourage them not to throw themselves at the ground, because that will happen. And so usually what I say is, girls, here's a life lesson for you. One of the situations where you can learn something about life by learning about dance, and that is, girls, don't trust guys. Right off the bat. Trust is something that should be built. And so I say that, and it honestly is a life truth that you should give trust a little bit of a chance to be built. And we're going to do that with this dip here. When we teach it, you want to make sure that you're teaching people to start by getting ready and fully ready for the girl to give, her weight so that he can support her and not drop her, right? But we want her to start a little slow so that he can develop the ability before she says, oh, catch me. You know what I mean? So, I think it's really important to have something said there about start really small with any new partner you have. Start small, and then you can start dipping further and further. But start really small. It's important to make sure that everyone in the lesson is going to step behind their partner. Make sure they take that step behind their partner so that they have support.
You mean just don't the girl, does the guy in the audience of people, or just
both.
I've done that.
Okay.
Right.
So what I would do is I would start, if you're going to dance with somebody new, and this is usually the way I teach dance, is if you're going to dance with somebody new, you're going to try and figure out what their skill level is, figure out what they know. Start with smaller moves and build up. Now, a dip is a smaller move. Especially if you both have been dancing quite a while, you could do a dip and go a little ways with it. That's okay. What I don't want to see people do is jump straight into doing some sort of backflip or something where you're like, you've never done this with a partner, some sort of cartwheel something, and you kick your partner in the face. Like, I've seen stuff happen because people are dancing with people that don't know exactly what their move is.
Well,
So-
and even in the case where you were talking about how the girl, she just lets go and drops her whole weight on a young man who isn't ready.
Right.
That is a dangerous situation
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's very important not to ask for too much trust, not to give too much trust in
This
move at the
concrete
beginning.
here has met quite a few heads of young girls.
Yes.
Quite a few head injuries.
Yes, yes. So it's just something that I think you can't be too careful with as you start. So I like to bring that up in the lessons because
It's important.
safety is important, and you can do amazing moves with quite a bit of safety if you practice and build up. But you don't want to be the person that's responsible for that big injury. The big injury of 07 or whatever. that's basically the lesson. One of the other things that sometimes we'll teach with the lesson, along with asking the partner to dance, is at the end of a dance, thanking your partner. Dance etiquette is to thank your partner at the end of the dance. Guys, thank your partner, walk her back to wherever you met her and asked her to dance. Don't walk her all the way there and linger. Walk her back 10 feet away, say thank you, and walk back to where your friends are. No need to, follow her around for the rest of the night. So, that's really the end of the lesson for the most part. So, there you have it.
Thank you.